We're on the descent down. I'm exhausted. I really have no more steam left, but I'm trying. Yesterday kicked my butt. It was a long day, 10 and a half hours, almost 11 hours hiking. So it's beautiful here, even on the walk down. Even this morning, it's just the clouds and the way that the fog is over the different volcanoes is incredible. What a journey. Okay, you guys, I am super excited to talk about my favorite country in all of Central America, Guatemala. I had no idea that I was gonna fall in love so hard, but it was a fast flame in Guatemala. I really didn't even know what to expect, but then I heard about this place, Antigua, which is a little bit like Spain, got mixed into Central America. So cobblestone streets, beautiful architecture, museums, amazing food, a lot of fusion food, dancing, textiles, culture, hiking. I just can't even go on and on and on. I think I could possibly live in Antigua. I made it here to Antigua, Guatemala. Tomorrow, I am going to be hiking the Tanago volcano and El Fuego. I'm ill prepared. I don't have hiking shoes or really anything really prepared for it, but I found a place. Oh, look at this with all these birds. I'm in the Central Park here. It's beautiful. The weather is just perfect. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. In the morning, it was a little bit chilly, but this town is beautiful. If you ever get a chance to come to this city, it's basically like old Spain. I love it. So far, so good. I'm gonna go try to find this bank. Anyway, I spent about 5 days there. I came from coming across over. I took a bus. I took actually not like a regular chicken bus, but I took just a regular shuttle. It was about $35 coming from Santa Ana, El Salvador. So you could easily go to El Salvador, go spend some time there, and then just cross over the border to get to Guatemala. And I was a little bit nervous about crossing the border because I had, remember, skip-legged my flight and got off in El Salvador instead of going to Guatemala and didn't use the rest of my ticket. So I was like, did they flag my passport? Am I gonna get in trouble? But no. I think it's really nice if you can use a shuttle, then it's going to be about 30 to 35 American dollars. It's a 5 to 6 hour drive and it's really easy to get across the border. We went super early in the morning. So they picked us up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. It was at a hostel in Santa Ana and within 5 to 6 hours, I was in the city of Antigua, Guatemala. Why would I say do this instead of doing a flight? Well, if you do a flight, you have to go back into the main cities in El Salvador to fly into Guatemala City, which is about an hour to an hour and a half away from Antigua, and then you have to wait for your flight. It's almost longer and more inconvenient than if you just take a bus or if you take a shuttle. So that would be my advice for you to get across the border. Then in Antigua itself, there is so much to do. The amount of food and culture and things to see just in the city alone. In fact, I was gonna do a day trip to Atalan, which is a beautiful lake, but I decided not to because there was just more for me to see in Antigua itself. There is Arco de Santa Catalina. There is the Cerro de la Cruz, which is a view over the city. Amazing. There's Casa Santo Domingo. There's Parque Central, which you could just go hang out and see the locals that are selling some artisanal things that are there in the main square. There's other markets as well, which is where I went and bought a bunch of handmade goods, which was amazing. Also, the museums were off the chart cool in Antigua, and they're free. So the MUNAG, M-U-N-A-G, the National Museum of Arts, was all these ancient artifacts, some of the most beautifully curated and really well designed. They're from Spain. Spain is the one, I think they're kind of like, sorry guys, sorry that we've done so much trouble over here. Let's make you a museum. So the MUNAG is a free museum that is beautifully laid out, well worth the visit if you have the time. There's also several galleries just to go meander in. The shop
shopping's incredible, the food's incredible. It is a not to miss city.
I am in, it's called Cooperación Museo. It's here in Antigua. What a beautiful space. It's free and it has all the funding from Spain, or a lot of the funding from Spain. There's several expositions. There's a beautiful cafe. It's like just in the heart of the city. I am so glad that I found this. Amazing. So here we are, the Bienio de Arte Paz.
Just outside the city, there is a place called Habitanengo, and they've designed it on this giant hilltop that looks like you were in The Hobbit. They have Hobbit houses, they have a giant rope swing, they have places overlooking, they have food that's kind of designed to look like Hobbit-ish. You could get a bar in the little pub, but you have to go through the small doors. It's really a treasure. I was talking to a guy from Italy, and he said that there's one that is actually in New Zealand that's even bigger and better than this, but he said, hey, for it being just here in Antigua, it's a pretty cool experience.
Okay, we are here in Antigua, Guatemala, and welcome to our little hobbit town. Only hobbits allowed. Hello! Hi, are the bartender? I'd like a beer. Okay. I'm here with Andrea and we are at Habitanengo. So this is a place just outside of Antigua, Guatemala that you can go to. It's designed to be just like the movie The Hobbit. So those of you who are big fans of The Hobbit, you should check it out. It cost us how much? 55, which is about $7. We just shared an Uber, so it was pretty inexpensive to get up here. The Ubers here was maybe like $5-6. So really a great thing. One thing to note is the shuttle, once you get to the entrance, it doesn't cost anything extra, but you just have to wait a long time. So we just hiked it. It's 1 kilometer, not too bad, actually really nice in the woods. And now we're gonna go explore. They have all of these little hobbit villages, little houses, fun little restaurants. Got myself a beer, looked at the view. Definitely a cool little place. Now I think if you've gone to the one in New Zealand, like my friend Andrea said he's been to the real one where they did it in New Zealand, then maybe this isn't going to be as exciting, but for somebody like me, I think it was really cool. Overall, like a pretty amazing, look at these little houses. It's really beautiful landscape. You get some beautiful views. You get a view of the volcano. It's a great place to check out.
There was also a couple markets and even farms that you could visit outside of town, but I just didn't have the time to do it. There's Tioba Farms is also an organic farm. It's a cafe. It's really close to the city. Valhalla Macadamia Farm is also near there. That's supposed to be fantastic. I didn't get to any of those. I was there for only 5 days. I wish I could have been there 5 weeks. There's several schools near Antigua or in Antigua for learning Spanish. So if Spanish is on your radar and you're kind of interested in going to check out another culture, it'd be a great place to go check out the schools that are in Antigua, Guatemala. Now the city itself, just in Antigua alone, like I said, cobblestone streets, you could take Uber motorcycle and zip around town with no problem. It was one of the coolest and fun things I did because you're not going very fast and it's really pretty safe, and the food there was amazing. I was not expecting for me to like Guatemala or Antigua's food as much as I did. There is also this little bar, it's called Yuli or Yulu, U-L-E-W. It is a secret speakeasy bar. It's inside the Antigua Brewing restaurant, and you walk in and you have to look for this red telephone booth. And then you go into the red telephone booth and you walk through the back of the telephone booth. It has a secret trap door. You go into Yulu. It's this tiny little hidden bar, but they bring the drinks out in the most amazing ensemble. It's like a little piece of art for every drink, and there's no menu. They just talk to you and they're like, well, what are you interested in? Do you like sour? Do you like sweet? And then they ask you what kinds of alcohol you like. And then once you give them those little protocols, they make up something fantastic. There was also this really beautiful, I want to say it was Iglesia de la Merced, and it was Convento Santa Clara. It's an old convent right in the city. Was probably one of the most beautiful convents I've seen. Like, it was, again, it looked like something that was like out of an old movie or from Spain. I saw that there was a wedding that was there on one of the nights, and they lit up the whole place with candles, and it was absolutely stunning. It was such a nice little surprise. I think it was a few dollars to go in and to check it out, but it was worth the visit. The ruins are really, really beautiful. And that's right in the city itself.
Okay, I'm here in the convent of Santa Clara de Assisi. So I believe that this is from Francesco de Assisi's, the one that he was so committed to and connected to. But one of the things that I'm noticing is they host weddings here in the evening. Oh my goodness, can you imagine getting married here? Would be absolutely incredible. So they have, right now they're getting everything, looks like they're getting everything set up. Look at this table. Wow, they have a dance floor, they have a full film crew. So I'm not sure who Patricia is. I think it's Patricia and Diego. They're having a freaking amazing wedding. Looks like they've got all these other pictures. So I'm just gonna breeze through. I have 30 minutes before I'm gonna get kicked out of here. Wish I could totally crash this party, but I'm not dressed for the occasion. So it's gonna be a banger. Can you imagine? It's so beautiful. This place is unreal. I could come here and paint every morning. Absolutely stunning. Top of La Merced, which is here in Antigua. It's kind of interesting. You can walk up on the roof, but you're not allowed to sit or walk on the domes. I kind of wonder if maybe it's the actual architecture that is not very safe for that, which is interesting. Maybe they don't want people walking on these domes for a reason. It was about $5 and get this beautiful view of the city. I can imagine here at sunset is probably pretty spectacular. And then they have this concert on the top of the roof over here with a DJ and wine, all kinds of fun things.
Just outside the city, there are volcanoes, active volcanoes that you can go hike up to. I did the day and overnight trip to Asatenango, which is a brutal hike to get there. You have to go up this very steep and kind of thick gravelly area to get to the first level, and then it's just these back and forth all the way up for a full day of hiking to get to Asatenango base camp.
I'm just out of Antigua, Guatemala, and I'm so excited. I'm here getting ready to hike up this volcano, Asatenango. Look at me, I've got not very well prepared, but I did actually rent some hiking boots because I don't have any, just had some tennis shoes, and I've got these nifty poles. And I hired a porter to carry my big bag because you have to bring your own 4 liters of water. It's super heavy. And then all your jackets and coats and everything else, because when we get to the top, it's supposed to be really cold. So here's my luggage. I don't know if, like, once you get to the base camp, and there's another hike that takes you up to Fuego if you want to get right there next to the volcano. I don't know if I can do it. We're at the break point. Whoop whoop, our first break. We have a long ways to go, and these guys are freaking killing it. We don't even have our big bags, but look at these beasts. They are so freaking strong. I don't know how they're doing it. They have all our bags. I feel so bad, but they're killing it. And we're gonna try to make it to the next check mark. We made it to the lunch spot, so I'm so happy. We packed our own, and they have chicken and rice and everything nice, and some like little, I don't know, roll of some sort. These guys are doing a fire. There they are. They're making a fire. My friend Exo, she's a model for Vogue. You might have seen her on the cover. It doesn't help to be walking with her up this mountain, you know. But we're having a good time. And there's the three amigas. Ming Chu is around here, so we're like the Spice Girls. We need one more to join our group. Anyway, it's going great. I'm gonna eat my lunch, and then I hope I can make it up to the top. We're about halfway up the hike. It's a long ways. It's crazy when you get to this certain level. As you're walking up, everything starts to get cold, and the trees change. I notice the smells change. It's fresh pine. It reminds me of Central Oregon, the high desert. It's really beautiful. I don't know if I have the capacity to make it to El Fuego, but I would be really proud of myself if I could do it. So we'll see.
Now we slept over at base camp on Asatanango. They provided food, but you had to pack your own water. I paid the porter. Please just pay the porter. It was like another $30. Best $30 I've ever spent in my life, because you have to take all your water for 2 days and you're hiking. So you're actually bringing more water than you expect. I swear, I don't think I would have made the hike without having help.
We made it to base camp. I was undecided on what I wanted to do, if I wanted to try to go up to El Fuego. It's the next hike up, but because there is so much fog right here, it's going to possibly, we won't see anything, and possibly we're going to see really close up to the volcanoes. So again, I was undecided, but I'm here. I should probably go do it, or I'm going to regret. This is what base camp looks like. I'm on the rugged trek. You can do a glamping one. If you have money and you want to spend more money, you totally can do that. So I'm just going to give you the rough skinny on this. We've got sleeping bags and bunks. It's pretty rugged, but look at our very sexy bathroom. Yeah. Feeling pretty good that I got my tetanus shot. Also representing Mike Pitts. If you're watching, you can see that I've got Sonic Boom on.
Now there was the option to then go to El Fuego. You have to go back down Asatanango at night with a headlamp and then back up to El Fuego to get close to this erupting volcano that does erupt every 15 minutes. Now, I've been seeing some things on the news saying that it's not allowed, or they're not allowing it anymore. I didn't know that, and it was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. Now, would I say to do it again? I don't know. You would definitely need to check out the safety factors on that, but just from Asatanango alone, being at that volcano looking over at El Fuego, you were basically like this volcano looking at this volcano, you're even. So you can just see it straight across and you're watching it erupt. It's like something out of like a Jurassic Park movie. One of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
I'm sitting here by the fire. My bed is freezing cold. I can't sleep, so I'm just hanging out and watching this mountain, this volcano erupt, chatting with a really cool guy named Christian who's done a year of travel. Incredible story from Romania. So it's really cool, really fun. Here's the fire. We're probably gonna pull an all-nighter.
You need layers. I literally froze. When I was there, I was so cold because my sleeping bag did not zip, and I ended up just having to go sit out by the campfire because I could not stop my body from shaking. Bring layers, for real. It's hot during the day, and so you'll be taking off all the layers, and then you can, at night, you're gonna be loading them back on. But if you just wanna go for another, like a little bit lesser of a hike, no shame in this. You could always go to, I think it's called Pasaya or Pacaya. It's another, I didn't go to that volcano, but it's another one that you can just do a day hike and it's not as extreme. But Asatanango was worth it. It was about $100 for me to pay for to go with the group, spend the night, and then I spent the extra $30 on the porter. I also rented hiking boots and some extra outer garments because I was not prepared at all, and some hiking poles. There's a little shop in Antigua called Tango, and they rent out any of that gear if you need it. So I would highly advise, if you aren't prepared for it, get hiking boots because it's very slippery coming down and also going up, and go ahead and invest in some hiking poles as well. Still, I would not trade it for anything. I would wait, as I'm laying there, I would feel the whole tent like shaking, and it's because the mountain Fuego was erupting all through the night. So an incredible experience, probably one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. I really wish I could have spent, like I said, so much more time in Antigua. It is one of the most beautiful cities that I've ever been to. If you can get to Central America, Guatemala should be on your list. I felt safe. Now, I know there are some places outside of Antigua and outside of Guatemala City, even in Guatemala City, that you need to be quite a bit more careful. Where I was staying, which there's some fantastic hotels in the city itself, and there's also some places just outside the city, are beautiful, easy places to get to. Definitely worth the visit, pretty inexpensive. My hostel, I want to say, that I was staying at, I stayed in a single room first for like $40 a night, but then when I stayed in a shared room, I was like maybe around 20. So a little bit more expensive than it was in El Salvador, at least in Santa Ana, which was so cheap, but it was worth every penny. And I mean, when I say more expensive, when you're talking about, oh, $40, we could never find something like that here in the States for $40. Could easily go much more high class than what I did and spend a lot of money, or you can spend a little money. And if you have a chance, you're only a couple hours to the ocean. I've heard that the surfing is great there. Also, Lake Adelon is supposed to be incredible. It has quite a few different little villages where people have settled around the lake. And I've heard from everybody that it's depending on what your vibe is. If you like a more hippie vibe, if you like a more yoga vibe, if you like a more party vibe, they have different little cities around the lake that can suit your needs. So if I had had more time, I would have definitely gone to Lake Adelon, and I would have definitely gotten to the ocean. I would have even spent a little bit of time in Guatemala City, but I just didn't have the time, and I knew Tikal was on my list to go visit. Now, Tikal is a Mayan ruin. They have some ancient ruins that are way high, built into the forest, and they've been preserved. If you could tack on a few extra days and get to Tikal, and a couple days maybe in Las Flores, which was a beautiful city with the most colorful houses. I will tell you all about it, but that is for take 2. Go to Antigua. Don't even think about it. Favorite city in probably all of Central America. Stay tuned for part 2 when I talk about Tikal and also Las Flores. All right, guys, don't forget you are a 10-10-10 and go make today awesome. And I will take you on my next little trip on our next video. Stay tuned for that. Ciao for now.